Hello YouTube, this is Toya Ruth again with the Divas and the Details, and I'm popping in because I wanted to do my part 2 in the series of videos that I was speaking about designer fragrances that I thought were just so lovely that should not have been discontinued. So today I'm going to be talking about Giorgio Armani. Giorgio Armani has a ton of great fragrances and is just a solid brand in general. But they came out with the original perfume called Giorgio Armani C, which is a nice, to me, everyday perfume. It is beautiful. But they made a flanker that made me a stalker fan of Armani C, and that is Giorgio Armani C Fiori. Problem is, this came out in 2019. By 2021, this fragrance was discontinued, and I do not know why. This fragrance by Giorgio Armani is so beautiful and lovely and ultra feminine. To me, this is a fragrance that you could wear to brunch. This is a fragrance that you would wear as a wedding guest. This is a fragrance that could be your signature scent. So, funny story, I was on a plane flying back from, I believe, Aspen, Colorado for a summer trip with my family. And I'm sitting there, and I always kind of spray first thing in the morning when we wake up, like 7 or 8 a.m. And then sometimes I'll spray again, like around lunchtime. The flight was like 11-ish. So I sprayed it before we got on the plane, and then I'm sitting there with my daughter, and I'm feeding her the snacks. And so after the lady dropped the snacks, she came back to me and she was like, "What fragrance are you wearing? And I need you to write it down." And I was like, oh no, I am wearing a fragrance by Giorgio Armani, but this particular fragrance is discontinued. It is a flanker of the C line. And I spelled it for her. She brought it up on her phone, because you know they have free Wi-Fi and everything like that. And she was like, "Yeah, I can't find the one that's pink. I see one that's red, and I see one that has like almost bourbon cognac liqueur." And I'm like, "Well, the one that's the bourbon cognac liqueur is the original. That is the true DNA of the Giorgio Armani C line. And then all of these other derivatives have a different spin on it. The red is more fiery, more spicy, and to me, with the white musk that is in the C line, and the green mandarin, which makes it bright and fresh, and the vanilla that's in it, the black currant. I think I love this fragrance so much because of the orange and the black currant is a perfect marriage of sweetness without being, with the green mandarin, without it being overly cloying, so to speak. It is a fragrance that does also last all day, which I really enjoy. While it is not overpowering, it's just a light, beautiful fragrance. And it's so interesting because this fragrance has patchouli, which I love. It has neroli, that's fine with me, but it has rose. And I'm not particularly a rose girl. I am normally an amber, vanilla, patchouli, woodsy cashmere, amber, vanilla, chocolate, and woody notes type of girl. So with this rose being in here, it's so subtle, but I think the rose is what is making it so light and airy and feminine. And it was not one of my top fragrances initially, but the more and more I wore it, I was like, this is something that I can wear for any situation, any day, all year long as like a signature scent. But I particularly enjoy it for sun is shining, you have a little dress on, you're headed to brunch, you're headed to a wedding. But in this particular situation, I was wearing it on an airplane as an everyday scent. And I just got stopped by this wonderful lady. And then I had to give her a whole list of other fragrances that had like patchouli notes in it and black currant. And of course, you know, I had to mention my black orchid, and she already was a fan of that. And then I had to give her some musky fragrances. But I was just so horribly disappointed to tell her that it was discontinued. And this is why. Along with in my previous upload, I talked about Jean Paul Gaultier discontinuing the Classique Essence Eau de Parfum. And I'm talking about Giorgio Armani canceling or discontinuing C Fiore. When you come out with a signature fragrance, and you make flankers, keep all the flankers. You have a different style of woman, a different clientele for each particular fragrance, or you have a lady like myself that, while I have like a specific affinity for certain notes, depending on my mood, I will get the whole line and wear them whenever my mood changes. So when you deplete and discontinue fragrances in the line, you may lose some loyal stands. Now, I will say, out of all of this is so bright and so sweet and feminine. You get that green mandarin initially, but then throughout the day, you just have like this lovely essence of like rose and patchouli and that musk. This is musk done well. A lot of people will have a musk and you're like, oh, they just didn't give a flying fluke, so they just stuck some musk in there. But this is musk done beautifully, light, feminine, to perfection. Giorgio Armani C Fiore. Now, you cannot tell how much juice is in here, but this is like halfway gone. The reason why I've been so crazy is because when I first got this fragrance, I got 2 bottles. I'm halfway done with the first bottle. I got this back in 2019 when it first came out. I like to wear it, so I'm wearing it a lot. I got a backup bottle, so I feel confident about using this one. Now, some of my other fragrances that are discontinued that I'm low on, I'm gonna have to be more sparing. The fact that I'm only halfway done, and this is September 22nd, 2022, and I got this in 2019, that goes to show you how like I have a lot of fragrances, and so I have a lot to choose from, so I'm not gonna just plow through it. So if this bottle lasts me another 1.5 years or another year, then I go to the second bottle. Hopefully I have total years, 5 years with this beautiful fragrance, and then I'm gonna have to like stand for something else. But episode 2, another beautiful fragrance that should not have been discontinued is Giorgio Armani C Fiore. This is completely just a lovely gem. Beautiful fragrance. All right, if you enjoy fragrance content, you like talking about hair and makeup, and I also dibble and dabble into some lifestyle, talking about managing your finances so that we can build generational wealth and maximize credit card perks and things like that that come into our lap, and leverage credit responsibly, then please click on some of the other videos. I'll have links to my other videos in the description box. Please like and subscribe. Comment to me, as I asked in the previous video, what is a fragrance that's a designer fragrance, because we'll get into niche fragrances later, but what's a designer fragrance that you love that has been discontinued and you feel should not have been discontinued? And you can probably look on eBay or FragranceNet or things like that. Just be very careful to make sure you're getting an authentic version of these fragrances, and just making sure you're not being taken advantage of, because you are still spending money. And if it is not your intent to buy a dupe, then you want to make sure you're getting something that is the real deal. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.